Hello, everyone out there again. I'm back. I didn't think I'd be back. Everyone keeps saying yes, so you got me again. Exciting. I also have a super exciting guest. I have Charlotte Riby, who was most recently in the best show ever. No offense to my other guests, Waitress. Do you
Hi,
want to sort of
Tom.
tell everyone how you got that role, how it sort of came about?
Oh, how did it come about? Waitress for me started in around October 2018, I think it was. Possibly September, late September. I'd literally just had a baby at the end of August. So it was all a bit of a crazy time. And it was the first audition that I'd gone back to. And did a few rounds and everything went very, 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 very quiet. And Christmas happened. And then I got a phone call. I think it was in between Christmas and New Year of 2018 saying, can you start rehearsals on January the 7th?
So when I've forgotten how long Waitress was running for. Were you there from the start?
I was there from the very beginning, original cast, yeah.
Did you finish at the end of the run, or did you stop before that?
No, I did one contract. I finished, we opened in March.
Yeah.
And we finished right at the very beginning of December. So it was I think it was like an 11-month contract, including rehearsals.
So you worked with Catherine McPhee. Was there any other Jenners or?
Yeah. No, I worked with Catherine. I'll see her tomorrow night. We've got a Zoom chat booked. I worked with Catherine.
Catherine, if you're watching, I've sent you a DM. You should be interviewed.
I'll tell her. Catherine and Lucy Jones, and then obviously the wonderful understudies as well, Sarah Connor and Olivia Moore. So they were my Jenners, yeah.
So when you finished Waitress, did you still go back and watch it when you had other cast members come in? Were you like, oh, I'm going to go watch this, see how they are in the show?
No, I've not. I never saw the show again after I'd watched it. I've been into the building when I've been into London to do other work or gigs or something like that. So I've been into London to see my old dressing room girls or something like that, but I've not seen the show, no. And do you know what was really sad as well? Myself and Nicole, we had decided that we were going to go and watch the last show in July.
Oh,
Really sad. I know. And Kelly Agbo as well. We were all going to go and watch it because that's our dressing room, and our dressing room girl, Olivia, we wanted to go and make sure we saw her last show with Cindy as well. I know, it was really sad.
Knowing that it was just suddenly. Luckily, I got to see it because it was my first show I ever saw. I technically I saw Matilda, but I wasn't into musicals then, so I didn't pass it as my first show. But Waitress is the first and only musical I've seen as a musical theatre
Really?
fan. I was very happy. I was in Aberystwyth at the time. It took me 7.5 hours to get to London on the coach.
Wow, so it's worth it though?
Yeah, it was funny for my girlfriend. She didn't know where we were going. So I just was like, we're getting on the coach. 7.5 hours later,
You got all the points. You got all the points for taking it to Waitress there.
Yeah, because Sarah Bareilles is her favourite singer in the whole world.
Beautiful.
And Sarah was playing Jenna at the time, and we went to the stage show afterwards to meet her at the stage door. So
Wowzers.
to do that, I don't know how I'm ever going to beat an anniversary present ever again.
Yeah, well done. Well done.
So, Waitress, I've seen your I Didn't Plan It is it West End Live?
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
It's one of my favourite songs. I'm learning at the moment. It's very hard. Not the original key, obviously, because I can't do the whole I didn't plan it. The whole really high. But it is such a fantastic song. Are you as in love with the whole soundtrack as the rest of the world is?
Oh my goodness, yeah. From the beginning. So I wasn't not a Waitress fan in the beginning. I'd heard some of the music before I auditioned for the show, but I wasn't hugely familiar with everything. So obviously, as soon as I got the job, I was like, oh, get listening. And then starting rehearsals. As soon as we started rehearsals, learning the music, learning the complex harmonies, everything that goes into that show, you instantly fall in love with it as well. And it's funny, doing a musical, you become not bored, but you obviously listening to it sometimes twice a day, 8 times a week. You know, you go, oh, this song again, you know. I know this one back to front and inside out, upside down. Waitress isn't like that. You can listen to it over and over again. And yes, fall in love with it every time you hear it.
What was your favourite song in the soundtrack? If you had to pick one, which one would it be?
Everything Changes
Amazing song.
is a huge favourite of mine. Like I say, I'm a mum of two. So the whole show for me has a really deep meaning. The words are incredible, and Everything Changes, I think, is the lyrics are extremely poignant, and it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful music, wonderful song, that one particularly.
I think the amazing thing about Waitress is that each of the songs are so different in their own ways. You've got the ballads of like She's Your Mine, which is so emotional and heart-wrenching and just power, and then you've got like Never Getting Rid of Me.
Brilliant.
It's just, I find it so amazing. I didn't plan it. Again, it was all of them. I can listen to them over and over again.
It's just testament to Sarah Bareilles. She's one of the most talented women I have ever met. Like, we all met her and become completely starstruck. Like, I've met some massive people in my career, but she was one of the people that really made me go, because the woman walks into a room and she's like, "Hi, Charlotte." Like, she knew all our names, which is amazing. From day one, she knew everybody's name. And then she'd go over and she'd play a bit of the piano. She'd like, "Oh, can we just change this?" And then she'd go over and she'd change a little bit of change a harmony. And then she'd pick up a guitar and go, "Can we just change this bit?" And then she'd go over and go over some of the choreography with somebody. The woman, there's no end to that woman's talents. So, she's incredible.
It's so amazing. I think that the whole world, that people, all these Waitress fans have the same sort of admiration for Sarah, because you see her at stage door, she's so busy, she has to do it really quickly because she's
so lovely.
But then it's just so amazing. You see people just being like, there's a video somewhere on Facebook that I saw of a guy going, "Hi Sarah, look at the camera and go, I met Sarah Bareilles." And it's just one of the best videos I've ever seen.
She's really normal as well.
Yeah.
And beautiful.
Yeah, because when security came out and said, "All right, she can't take pictures, you've got to be really quick," I just thought she's all she's going to do is walk past us like that. But she always makes time to have a quick.
Yeah, she's lovely.
So amazing. So, moving on from Waitress, I have a stuff that is to do because I love it. Before Waitress, you were in Jesus Christ Superstar.
I was, yeah.
Which, funnily enough, Sarah Bareilles is now known for being in as well. That's my link. Talking about Sarah Bareilles.
Smooth.
Edit that bit out. So, how's that come about? When was that?
So I did Jesus Christ Superstar twice, 2 years on the trot. Superstar, the first time, was the first show that I did coming back after having my first little boy. So it was a big deal for me personally, going back after having a baby. That was in 2016. 2016 at Regent's Park Theatre. Drew McConey did the choreography, who hands down for me is one of the country's best choreographers by far. And to dance his choreography meant the world, let alone after having a baby, because it hurts. But he's incredible, along with Tim Sheeder as the director and Tom Deering as musical director. Those three together are a force to be reckoned with. They're incredible. And then to be working on that music, stunning. I loved it. So I did it 2 years on the trot. Did it first year at Regent's Park, and then they revived it again and did it a second year at Regent's Park. And I got to work with my husband for the first time in our whole relationship.
That must have been quite a nice
So
thing.
we did, yeah, well, do you know what? To begin with, they were like, "Oh, you know, Ivan went and auditioned for it and he got the job as well." And they're like, "Yeah, you got the job." And I was a bit like, "Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to be working with my husband." But it was amazing. It was amazing being next to him. And funnily enough, when we were doing a lot of the choreography, we were next to each other on the stage. And he's an incredible energy to feed from on the stage. And it's the most energetic, painful show to do. So you need people next to you that you can feed from. and it was wonderful to work with my husband. So yeah, 2 years on the trot. Jesus Christ Superstar at Regent's Park.
It must have been pretty hard though if you both had the same job that soon after having your first. Was it?
It was. Yeah, my little boy was 11 months old, I think, when I went back to work for the first time. We'll segue into that one, what I did straight after. But yes, he was 11, nearly a year old. 11 months, nearly a year old when we went into Jesus Christ Superstar, when I went into it for the first time anyway. It was difficult, but we're very, very lucky that we've got wonderful parents that helped us look after him. So super lucky.
Shout out to your parents if they're watching. You're
Shout
amazing.
out to the grandparents. Shout out to your grandparents.
Yeah, if you're watching, Grandma.
Nanny Pat. Grandma Pat.
Yeah. And Grandad Mike.
Grandad Mike. Hi.
Sorry, Grandad Mike. Never called you Grandad Mike before, but that's what I'm going to call you from now on.
There you go.
Let's talk about Billy Elliot.
So Billy Elliot, I say Jesus Christ Superstar was the first job that I did after having my little boy, but I went back to Billy Elliot to close it. So I went into Billy Elliot, God, I don't even know what year it was. But in total, there were 3 years of Billy, 3 contracts. I did the first year, and then I got married and had a baby, went on maternity leave, and then went back and closed the show after having my first little boy, and then went straight into Jesus Christ Superstar. Bit complicated, but yes. So there was a maternity leave within that show, but it was 2.5 contracts in total.
Was that a strange feeling, starting a show, leaving, and then just coming back to finish it off?
Yeah, I went back for 2 weeks. Filmed the big cinema experience, the Billy Live, in those last 2 weeks as well. It was weird. It was really weird. But yeah, I went back, closed the show.
Did you ever feel like you got back and you're like, why am I back? Did you just feel like I've come back too soon?
No, it was amazing. It was amazing to go back and be like, hi everybody, bye everybody. It was good to go back and see everything and close the show that I started as well. So it was nice. It was nice to,
So was that like when you went on maternity, was that like you'd already decided that you were going back for those last 2 weeks, or was that just
No. Well, when I went on to maternity, I didn't know the show was going to close. Billy Elliot had been open for 12 years. So I didn't have any idea that the show was not going to just run and run and run and run. I went on maternity to in the idea that I was going to go back into a show and carry on, maybe do another whole year or another whole contract. But I got a phone call towards the end of my maternity, and they said, "Oh, the show's been given its notice. It's happening on this date." So I finished my maternity and I went back. So very lucky, it all just timed out nicely.
Perfect. So I forgot what I was going to say. Lots of train of thought. Before Billy Elliot, you were Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah.
That is a good show. How'd that come about?
How did that come about? Oh, just auditions again, via the old agent and everything else. The auditions for Priscilla were quite complex. They were a lot of work as a trio. Obviously, they're trying to find, because I was one of the divas, so they're trying to find this a chemistry and a blend between the voices. So there was a lot of like workshop auditions that happened for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and it was I think we did about 6 or 7 auditions for that show. It was long, but brilliant. I mean, probably the most fun show. All the drag queens and the flying and swinging around on a bus and the ridiculous costumes and the jukebox music. It was hilarious. And I met 2 of my best friends in the world doing that show. They're more like sisters to me, Portia Amare and Emma Lindars. And we created a band called The Idols. And we do a lot of corporate work and all sorts together. So give us a follow.
I've seen that on your Instagram.
There you
Everyone
go.
should follow you on Instagram.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that. Everyone that's watching at home.
Thank you very much.
I today saw a video. I'm hoping I'm getting this information right, because it's embarrassing if I'm not. But I saw a Children Need video with Hairspray.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, that must have been pretty exciting when you were like, we're going on Children Need.
Oh my God. So I was the alternate Tracy. It was my first West End show was Hairspray. And Hairspray was the show that I did before Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Yeah, little old me. Being on a tour before that, like, here's your first West End show. You've got the alternate Tracy Turnblad in. It was a massive deal coming over from Broadway. Hairspray was when it first came into the West End. It was amazing. Again, another show that I auditioned maybe 8 or 9 times in the audition process for. Dance calls, acting calls, singing calls. It was a really, a really big audition process. But what an incredible show. And I used to do, I performed the part of Tracy quite a lot. And it just happened to fall that time that the girl that played the lead at the time, Leanne, she wasn't very well, and they were like, "Oh, it's Children in Need. You're on."
So how much warning did you get about that?
It was in the afternoon of the same day.
No.
So I didn't get rehearsal. Leanne had done the rehearsal in the afternoon on set at Children in Need. She was fine. And Leanne suffered with quite bad migraines at the time, and so she had a migraine, and literally just before the show, you're on. I was like, oh my goodness. And the thing was, at Children in Need, the stage was Perspex. So to run onto the stage, you were like, oh no, it's very slippery, and I'm in front of millions and millions of people right this second. So it was scary. It was scary.
And also, the difference between your like West End shows and Children Need is if you fall over in the West End, it's very likely people will see it, will hear about it. You fall over in Children Need, it's there forever. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was also a different version of You Can't Stop the Beat as well. It wasn't the version that we do in the show. It was a cut version. Oh, I think I listened to it. I listened to it a fair few times, but it was a completely different version to the one that we did in the show. So you really had to concentrate to make sure that you did the cut version and not the version that you did in the West End show.
Was it super stressful when you were on stage, or do you think once you got there and once you started getting into the swing of things, you were just like, okay, it's not as bad now?
Well, at Children in Need.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just that's the whole thing with theatre and everything. You just sort of, it's a mind over matter thing. If you let your nerves take over completely, I mean, I don't know if any of us would ever do anything. As performers, you've got to have that control to go, okay, I can do it. Yeah, if you think about the amount of thousands of people that are watching you, or the millions that are watching you on TV and stuff, I don't think any of us would ever do anything. So you just sort of go with the flow.
I think I've got one more show that I need to talk to you about, which is your first show, Me and My Girl.
Yeah.
Does it feel weird thinking back to your first show after the shows you've done now? Or how does it feel to just sort of think about
the first one?
Yeah.
The first professional one, anyway, the first one out of college. Gosh, yeah, it was. And you know what, thinking back, it was a lovely show, and a classic as well, Me and My Girl, with an incredible cast, some wonderful, wonderful people. You had Alexis Owen Hobbs, Lizzie Hills, Matthew Brind was the musical director who did Made in Dagenham, and I think he did Shrek as well. But an incredible, incredible cast. Dilly Keane from Fascinating Aida was playing the Duchess, and I understudied her. Was Sylvester McCoy one of your Doctor Who's? Who else was in it? You had Faye Tozer from Steps. She was playing our leading lady. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant show to do. Although it didn't last as long, again, as it was supposed to do. We got our notice early on that show, being on tour. but a lovely show to do. And I think it was important for me as well to do a tour, to come out of college and do a tour as well, because it's hard work. So I think I earned my stripes as well, going on tour and, doing that first. I think it's important. I think everyone should tour at some point in their life. It's completely different to working in the West End.
What's been your favourite place that you've toured to?
Home for me is the whole new theatre. It's always wonderful to get home. I love going to Edinburgh. It's also wonderful. Manchester's a brilliant, brilliant town to go to. City, should I say. I remember really enjoying, people are going to laugh at me for this one, going to Malvern. And it was not because of the theatre particularly, but it was a tiny, remote town in the middle of nowhere, in the Malvern Hills. And you were surrounded by incredible countryside. And we all stayed in this massive, manor house, 12-bedroomed manor house, the whole cast, all of us together, running a riot.
Was that strange? Oh, I've lost you for a second. I'm going to talk to the camera. I've found you again. I lost you for a minute there. So just carry on talking to the camera.
Right.
In case it was just me that people could see. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I'm just going to talk to the camera. So hello, everyone back there. I'm just going to wait a second to make sure the signal's got better.
It's okay. Yep, we're back.
Okay, cool. All right. What were you saying? So you were in Malvern and you were in the big manor house.
Yeah, we had a 12-bedroom manor house, and it was incredible. The whole cast got to stay together for once, and you never get to stay together like that. It was brilliant, great fun. I also enjoyed Plymouth. Plymouth was great fun.
That's good. I think my favourite part about these interviews is that everyone I've asked about a tour has said somewhere in Scotland, which is quite nice.
I loved Edinburgh's divine. It's just stunning.
I think my favourite is, someone said Glasgow, and Glasgow is quite important to me. My dad's from Glasgow, so I'm half Scottish.
Right.
So, funny story. I'm going to tell everyone on the internet this story now. The hospital my dad was called in was called Rotten Row Hospital. So my dad was born at Rotten Row, which is quite funny. So, Dad, if you're watching, sorry I told everyone in the world that you're from Rotten Row. This is a question. This is a hard question. I've asked a couple of people this. If you could only go back to one of your shows, which one would it be?
Superstar. Jesus Christ, Superstar.
Is that quite an easy one to just be like?
It was not for the part that I was playing, because I didn't play a lead part in it. There was nothing featured about what I did, but I got to dance and again to do that choreography and sing that score was 100% fulfilling every single night outside in Regent's Park. It's beautiful.
That's amazing. Well, yeah. We're coming near to the end of the interview, and anyone that has been watching at home, shout out to the grandparents again, will know that this is where I ask some completely random questions.
I'm scared.
Maybe you should be. I don't know.
I'm just going to have a drink of my gin and we'll be done. Go on.
First question I warned you about. If you could be in any show, no stereotypes, no gender roles, for one night only, full costume, full lights, full sound, which show, which character, and why?
Really boring, because it's like my other answers. I'd play Judas.
I thought that's the answer as well. I think
I'd be Judas. What a sing! Heaven on Their Minds, Jaded Mandarin. I'd be Judas by far.
I can imagine that you're the type of person that even at home now you're just being like, I'm Judas at home. Just
yeah, we were singing it earlier. We were singing it earlier in the garden. Definitely, I'd be Judas.
Good choice. Time for the second question. We're getting into the secret ones now, so this is going to be fun for you.
Okay.
So, question number 1. This is a hard one. It's a would you rather. Would you rather only listen to one original cast recording for the rest of your life and be able to listen to it as much as you want, or listen to any cast recording but only listen to that one once?
Say that again. I didn't hear the last half of the question.
So you can either listen to the original cast recording of any show as many times as you want.
Yeah.
Or listen to any cast recording, but you can never go back to it. You can only listen to it once.
I'd listen to any cast recording once.
Are
But
you the type of person that would find it hard to not go back to her?
Yeah. Because once I hear it, I often like to learn it.
That would be really hard.
That was a tricky question, Tom.
These are my tricky questions, and this one is tricky and random, and it'll make you think. Would you rather never sing again, or be a badly singing sheep?
I'd be a badly singing sheep.
So we just do everything a sheep does, though. You can't eat anything you enjoy eating. You have to eat grass. That's all you can eat.
What type of a question is that?
It's a hard question, isn't it?
I have to sing. I'd have to be a badly singing sheep.
What does your husband think about you being a badly singing sheep? Would he be okay with that?
That's terrible. That's terrible.
And the final question is a nicer question. And I ask everyone this. It's a fun game my girlfriend now plays, where I ask you this question and pause before you answer, and she guesses what your answer will be. So the question is, if you could be any Disney princess, which one would you be and why?
Am I going to answer this?
Yeah.
Oh, I have children. I've watched many a Disney program. Hang on. Who did I really enjoy recently? I don't know if she's a princess, though.
Me neither. You haven't told me yet.
Who did we really, really enjoy? Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Good choice. And why?
Why? Because I like her progression.
That's a good answer.
You're welcome.
That's a really good answer. It's so short and perfect, and it just said everything you need to say about her. I've told everyone this. My answer, everyone that's watching at home will know this. My answer is the same and will always be the same. Elsa.
Why?
Because
she's epic.
Idina Menzel.
Well, there you go. But the character's epic there as well.
Yeah.
Frozen 2. It's brilliant.
Oh, I love it so much. My girlfriend got it on DVD.
Do you know what I really enjoyed about it, though? There was, we saw the first one, and then my eldest and I went to the cinema to watch Frozen 2, and it's quite boy-y there, with the big rock giants, and she's quite, powerful.
Yeah,
she's not
really good film.
airy-fairy princess, is she, in any way, shape, or form?
Have you been at home and just been singing the Frozen songs yourself? Because I've done that so many times.
Yeah, I do it with the children. They think I'm ridiculous. And plus my 1.5-year-old goes, ooh, and he's only one. He's 20 months.
My girlfriend have a thing now where if she's in the other room and I need to get her attention, I'll do that noise and she does it back. And I'm
Cats.
This has been quite... Hello again. Are you Jasper or...
This is Jasper.
Jack or Jasper, that's it.
This is
Hello,
Jasper. There
Jasper,
are 2 new additions that we got during... Well, it wasn't actually during. It would be at the very, very beginning when everything... Oh, there's the other one. At the very beginning when all this started to happen. And it was when Italy had already gone into lockdown. A friend of mine was like, oh, I'm going to get a kitten. I was like, I want kittens, and I've wanted kittens for ages. So I persuaded my husband, and then he went, well, why don't we get 2 so they can entertain themselves? So we did. And this is Jack too. Mwah.
Hello.
So the children love them.
So you and your husband are both in musical theatre. Do
Yeah.
you think you will ever want to start a family band or a family singing group?
I don't know. Do you want to start a family band or a family singing group ever? He's just shaking his head at me in disgust.
Me and my sisters when Frozen 2 came out, I'd left my secondary school. I've been gone for like 2 years after then. But I was still in contact with my school teacher, and I was like, all right, I've got a request. And she was like, what is it? And I was like, my sister still goes to the school. Can we come back for one night for the concert and sing Something's Never Changed from Frozen 2? So me and my sister just came back.
Amazing.
That's why old school her on stage. I was doing my Christoph and Sven voice. And
Oh, I love that.
so it was so much fun. So my sisters as well, if you're watching, we need to start a proper family band.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Do it.
So we've come to the last question of the interview, which, don't worry, isn't a scary question, isn't a question about sheep or princesses. It's just a very important question, which is, what's your advice for people at home right now?
Advice for people at home right now during COVID-19. I think that this is a time for us to find positives within the whole situation. Not only do you find positives within yourself, but you have to look around the world around you. Everything's healing. You can see satellites in the sky because the sky is so clear. In certain parts of the world, you can hear the birds singing because there's no pollution and no lorries and no traffic on the roads. Trees are greener. Everything looks brighter and is more peaceful. And I think that can only be a positive thing. This is a time for, the world to heal itself. And I know there's lots of horror going on within the world with people suffering, people who have contracted the virus, and people that have lost their lives, and it's awful and extremely sad for everybody that's been affected, personally or to people close by or people that because everybody has been affected by it. But I think personally you have to find positives, not just with the world around you, but within yourself as well. Stay at home, find yourself a new skill, listen to music, use this wonderful thing that we call the internet, and connect with people that you don't see very often, and and just indulge yourself in your passions. And if it is watching musical theatre every day, then do so, because it's wonderful and it brings joy.
Thank you. Everyone at home, you heard it from the superstar. Just stay positive, be positive.
Yeah.
We're at the end now, and it's really sad. Thank you for letting me interview you, because it's been amazing. I've had so much fun.
Thank you, Tom. What a lovely interview.
And there's just sort of two more quick things to say. The first one is, if anyone wants to follow you on social media, how do they do that? What's your...
I'm at Charlotte Riby, right there, but no space, obviously, on Instagram, and the same on Twitter, at Charlotte Riby as well on Twitter. That's just me.
Okay, cool. And everyone should follow you because it's very interesting.
Thanks.
Check out the videos. I'm going to put a link in the video to I Didn't Plan It from the Western Live. And I think the last thing that I need to say, which is very important, is this video is to make money for acting for others, which is super important right now. It's so important. So I know that it's a hard time for everyone, but if you can help by donating just a little bit of money or as much money as you can, everything will help, because it's hard for you as well, isn't it? Not knowing what's
it's
going
extremely
on.
difficult. Yeah, we as actors and performers have nothing set in stone at all. Even if people are talking about jobs for next year, or performances, be it gigs or recording, nothing's set in stone for anybody. We have no real work at the moment, unless it's via the channels of, social media or Zoom or the internet, but we can't make any appearances among the public like we normally do. So yeah, it's very difficult to not know what the future holds, because there's nothing definite at all.
Yes, everyone donate. There is literally a link right down in the description. It's not like I have to go and find a way to donate. There's a link right down there under the, I don't know. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that, to have my own. Yeah, it's right down there in the description. So make sure you donate as much as you can, so it helps a lot. And thank you again, Charlotte, for being interviewed. It's been absolutely amazing. And everyone out there who's watching, make sure you subscribe and click that little bell, because I have so many more amazing interviews coming up. And it's just going to be so much fun. So thank you everyone for watching. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish?
Lovely.
All right. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye, Tom.